Question the obvious. If you want to make real breakthroughs, then question what nobody else questions. That's what sets people aside who make great breakthroughs, whether it's in philosophy or science or just in your own life and personal development and relationships, and spiritual growth. Um, there's these things that most people don't question because they take them for granted. And some of these things are, they might sound a little silly to question at first, but if you don't go all the way and question the whole foundation of your beliefs, then, um, everything else is kind of like it's almost like the foundation of your beliefs is like the substratum that everything else is kind of growing from. So and it takes some digging to even get to that bottom. But another thing too is to question what other people's findings are. I don't mean to just become a skeptic of everything in the sense of um, not believing in science or maybe a better way to put it is not listening to science and what it has to offer and say. Um, I think that you don't want to become so skeptical and to the point where you're paranoid of everybody and the government and all that stuff. What I'm trying to say is that it's good to be skeptical of everything across the board, but at the same time, we're living in a society and a life, and even though if you really are obvious with your if you're honest with yourself, you'll you'll admit to yourself that, hey, I know nothing, so being skeptical is warranted. But at the same time, in even if we know nothing, we're still functioning, and there is a narrative that is going. Even whether the narrative is true or not, we need to have some sort of narrative that is practical, um, while we are living our lives and seeking the truth. So, but still, it's good to question other people's findings, especially, in philosophy, there's a lot of different schools of philosophy. Um, you know, Descartes saying, I think, therefore I am, question that, that's you shouldn't really just outsource somebody's philosophy if you want to be a real philosopher. Um, but, what the thing is, though, when you are questioning some of the most obvious things and some of the things that we take for granted, we need to be aware of our biases, okay? Because if we're going to be questioning some of the most fundamental, obvious, self-evident seeming things that we believe in, then we need to not be biased about what we question and what we don't. Um, and to be more aware of what our biases are, that will help us along that journey. Um, and this just comes from mindfulness and really like noticing when you become more defensive about certain things, or maybe you're saying certain things that you want to be true, but if you're honest with yourself, maybe you're not 100% sure it is true. So in this way, we can become more aware of our biases, and we can then be able to actually start to question indiscriminately all of the different um, beliefs that we have, digging deeper and deeper, going to some of the most obvious, self evident seeming foundational beliefs. And, when I'm talking about some of the most foundational, self evident seeming beliefs, I'm not talking about like um, my religion, or if you have religious beliefs, or if you have beliefs to do with your culture or to um, your country or family beliefs or things like that. I'm getting more deeper into things like who you believe you really are, like why you're really here, what's really going on, things like that, and what your self identity really is. But then I'm talking about even going deeper to things like what is existence? Is reality even real? Um, how can I know anything at all? What is knowledge? What is being? Um, do I exist? Things like that. The most foundational, taken for granted beliefs. So yeah, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, then please hit the subscribe button. If you have anything you want to say, then comment down below. If you know anybody who might like this, then please share it. And if you want to get notifications the next time I make new content, then hit the little bell button. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.